John Phillips, Managing Director of HTS Harlow. Haven't last spoke to you in 5 months. So, how have the last 5 months been, and how would you define where you are right now?
It's been a story of recovery, really, Michael. I think as things back in society slowly open up, we've been working hard to get a full complement of people back to work. A few hurdles on the way. I think probably on the environment side, because of the need for lockdowns last year and us to hold back from undertaking that work, means that the grass doesn't stop growing. It continued to grow last year. Very much an exercise of trying to keep up with the need for maintaining the work. I suppose a couple of the hurdles have been, I think, a consequence of people needing to isolate through the NHS app. For example, 16 of our frontline staff currently are isolating because the app has told them to. So looking forward to those restrictions getting out of the way middle of August, for example. That'd be useful. I suppose another consequence, which is quite interesting, is that the furlough scheme very much welcomed across the country as a saviour for people in terms of employment. But one of the implications of it is individuals are making, quite rightly, I suppose, in terms of looking after their families, are sort of making decisions that they're going to stay on furlough right to the bitter end, as it were. So actually, the trying to employ people at the moment is hellishly difficult. So as you know, our people retire, we're looking at bringing new people into the organisation. But because people want to stay on furlough till the bitter end, we're struggling to do that. And it's not just an HTS issue. It's it's across the country. But something, if you like, it was one of those unintended consequences of furlough. It's not something you'd ever envisage would be a difficulty for us. But we've got a structured plan. We've signed it off with colleagues at Harlow Council, and we're well on our way to recovering, which is a positive story. Good to see people as well.
Yeah. Starting with the 16 frontline, just for the avoidance of doubt. So 16 frontline people being isolating, what's the implications for that? What are the consequences?
Well, if 3 of those drive lawnmowers, then 3 less lawnmowers go to work that day. Simple as that, really. And that'll be the implication across the business. Not all of them are on environmental duties, but a good number of them are. Yeah. But
I saw on social media a new counsellor who's quite right in Church Langley, not happy with the service they're getting. The councillors have got to still do their job as a check on the executive.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's about understanding the implications of coming out of COVID. And I think the dialogue continues, and it's a useful dialogue between us and colleagues in the council.
And how do we're here today on your Harlow and speaking to our readers and viewers, how do you communicate with your staff? Has that job been more over the last 16 months and even today, has that job been more important than ever?
Most definitely. I think, I'm still not sure we've cracked it, to be honest with you, Michael. To be able to talk to people face to face is definitely the best way of communicating. And indeed, just later this week, we're doing our first face-to-face staff briefing sessions that we've done in 16 months. We are off down to the Playhouse to do a number of briefing sessions with our people. Firstly, welcoming them back, as it were, into fully frayed work. But also having the opportunity to say a face-to-face thank you for them, because 95% of our people have actually been out delivering frontline services for the last 16 months in any case. So it'd be good to reacquaint ourselves. Yeah.
So you talk about recovery. Here we are in August. So have you got a plan between now and 2022? You know, with the view of whatever that means, getting back to normal.
Yeah, so I mean, this summer has been a challenge for us environmentally. We are looking to, hopefully be back to a regular position, by the next growing season. There's obviously the winter programme that needs to continue. On the repairs front, we have a plan where we be catching up on our backlog of jobs over the next 4 to 5 months, and that generally is working pretty well. So with a fair wind and no reoccurrence of COVID, there's always that caveat there. We should be back to some normal situation over the coming months.
And if there are people are naturally entitled to, if they have a concern or a complaint, etc., they're entitled to do that. And but do you feel you have a good channel of communication and feedback with the relevant residents when it comes to things like repairs?
Yeah, I think that we've got strong processes in place that log complaints, and we use that information to allow us to focus our attention on what we need to. It's quite interesting though, because over this summer period, the level of complaints has not increased exponentially, as it were. We've probably got a few more complaints on our table than we would have had at this time in a normal summer. But equally, an awful lot of customers are going out of their way to say thank you to our people. So the number of plaudits that we received over the past few months is significantly higher than we would normally receive. And that's good news. And I think perhaps one thing COVID has achieved is given people generally a soul, if you like, and a reference to come back to. Yeah.
And of course, we had the Harlow Wombles who have emerged over the summer, cleaning and picking the litter, etc.
Yeah, we've been supporting them for sure. Yeah.
It's a good idea, isn't it? It's a good thing.
Well, I think an interest, a stake in your community is really quite important, really. And I think HTS are willing to help voluntary organisations in a specific area of activity. I don't think they should ever be picking up the day-to-day work that we're responsible for. But something like the Wombles is it's a valid cause. It's good exercise for people. We can assist them being able to do it by lending them pickers and picking up the bags that they fill with rubbish. And I think they've got a high community spirit, and I think it's good. Yeah.
Recently, you picked up some health and safety award, because at the core, health and safety is, it shouldn't go without saying, so important. So I must be pleased that you have picked up awards for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And I think, again, that's about continuing to motivate people during that difficult time. We're really pleased with the awards that we received and the recognition that international safety organisations have given us. It is core to our business, and we just need to remind people that it is core to their safety. Fundamentally, we want people to go home in the same condition that they turned up in the morning at the end of the day. And this just underwrites that, really. And I'm really pleased with it. It is about frontline operational services being delivered safely. An excellent achievement by the staff. Well done to them.
And you mentioned obviously the relationship with Harlow Council, but people like Brian Keane, the Chief Executive, is somebody and relevant, because we've got new Conservative-run council now. Are you in constant communication with these relevant people?
Yeah, we are, and again, there's a framework in place in terms of us being able to report and talk through some of the issues with council officers and elected members. And we're gaining a closer understanding of some of the priorities for the new administration that will be brought together in a refreshed business plan for us in the coming months. So looking forward to working with them.
Yeah. So in conclusion, you're very positive about the rest of the year and going into 2022.
Yeah, I am. I think our people have done remarkably well during lockdown. There's a few bits that are heading us off the path, but no road, as you know, is without its potholes, is it? Pardon the pun. But as long as you know where you're going, that's the main thing. Just keep on that.